My friends are degenerates, but I never change them.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Betting House Pod, brought to you by the Garage Door Sports Network. We are in week 6 now of this podcast. Last week did not start off too hot, but we rallied back for the boys. I believe we almost went at 500, right, boys?
500
16 to 16.
500 on the
500 exactly. Okay. I was not too happy. Let's put it this way: at the beginning of the, I guess after the 1 p.m.s on Sunday, was not my favorite day. You can ask GJ how I was. Turned football off after, so let's put it that way. But anyways, enough about my sorrows. Let's get introducing the boys again. Everybody's back again. Justin, what's going on?
Not much. Poor performance by my boys yesterday.
Garbage.
Crappy backdoor cover by the Ravens. Just bad game by Pittsburgh. So that's how I feel. Lost a lot of money last weekend. We'll just leave it at that. Not great. But
as my dad said, a win's a win.
Well, yeah. Deep down, I say it's a win's a win. But everything else about me says, God, that was a terrible. That was your typical Wednesday afternoon football game, eh?
That's about how a Wednesday football game should go. Yeah,
should have known better.
TJ, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Last week was, we got screwed on a few things, but I'm in it this week. I'm ready. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a big week.
I think so too. We are switching it up a little bit, going a little bit different direction, trying to up our spirits, I guess is what you could say. Matt, how are you doing today?
Not bad. I think I've found my way to win and just take props. So I'm going to keep riding with that this week.
You were the prop guy last week. You're quite successful as well. So, and last but not least, Jake, what is going on?
Not much. Got back on a little bit of a better run after our week 4 disaster. So hopefully we can get above 500 this week and never look back from there.
I'm liking the Randy Moss in the background, by the way.
I'm changing it up because I haven't been able to get over 500 myself, and I got to find something new that's going to I'm very much a superstition guy, so whatever works.
There you go.
To be honest, I'm hoping I can at least sniff 500 eventually, but we'll get there when we get there. So,
pick one game this week, Kyle. So you're either 0 or you're 100,000%. There you go.
No, I'm all in. I'm all
the
in.
The degenerate, and you can't do that.
All in, balls in. That's just how it was. So this week in the show, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We are going to stay with our show picks. We are going to make 2 picks as a show. But instead of our like it, love it, lock it, which we are not going to talk about how we did last week, we are going to switch it up and do a new segment called Take It to the Bank. This is everyone on the show is making 1 pick and 1 pick only. We're going to give our description and rundown of why we like this pick. And basically you can take it to the bank and put your entire bank account on that game, and we will guarantee it. Not really, but we are. And then we are back again with our quick hits. We are not going to spend too much time on them. Take them if you want, but these are what we believe are going to make some money. So with that being said, let's start off with our show picks. Obviously with the first one, we're going to go with the Tennessee-Cleveland game, which I believe is 1:00 on Sunday, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Currently Tennessee is favored 5.5 points at home to Cleveland. Justin, you want to start us off? Why do we like Tennessee in this one?
Oh, Derrick Henry 8 last week, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He 8.
The one week I don't take him for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now, granted, his best games have been divisional games this year.
Fair.
But that whole offense was clicking last week, and they're back on that terrain of, you got to score 40 points to beat Tennessee, right? It's going to be Chubb versus Henry, and I think Henry wins that game. And then it's going to come down to who outthrows, Tannehill or Baker, and Tannehill will outthrow Baker. He's got more weapons.
Yep.
You don't have that X factor of the Cleveland weather this week. That's a big thing, right? So I think, Tennessee goes up early like they did last week, and I don't think Baker's got the weapons to chase. They're going to have to put the run game away. So I think, as long as Tennessee gets out to an early lead, then I think it's run, and go from there.
I think that's had a lot to do with Cleveland's success recently has been that weather. They've been in, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks in a row now. They've been in weather games where they have to just run the ball because it's too hard to throw it. And I think that's kind of beneficial for them in a way because they do have two running backs that are very good. But at the same time, you're going up against Derrick Henry, who's going to outrush you. And when it comes to throwing the ball, Cleveland is not quite as good as Tennessee, right? So I think this week that's what it's going to come down to is the running game. Because they have Hunt and Chubb, I think he'll keep up with Derrick Henry and the Titans. But the passing game is where Tennessee's going to take it over in this game.
Yeah, I think the biggest example of that running game for the Browns was definitely that Raiders game where pretty sure we all had the over to start the day, and then we realized that the weather was like, and it was, oh God, it's a 9-3 game. Matt, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everyone here with Derrick Henry factor. Tends to happen at the end of every season. Derrick Henry just decides on to run for 190 yards a game.
Yeah.
Everyone's all bruised up, doesn't really want to get in his way. He doesn't care, he doesn't stop. So I think Derrick Henry is going to be the big X factor in this game. So I'm pretty confident with Tennessee minus 5.5 here.
And then looking at, so the other thing is Cleveland's defense is the 9th ranked defense against the rush. So if Derrick Henry does get stopped, it will rely on Tannehill to take over that passing game, as Cleveland is only ranked 20th for the pass. So
aren't the Colts like top 3?
For the rush?
For the rush. I think they're top 3.
After last week, I
They
don't
were.
Yeah,
They
I say they were, but
we'll get into that one.
He proved
Derrick
them wrong.
Henry's
So.
a different guy.
I'll hit on that one in a couple minutes, folks.
Yeah, they are now 7th. So
God.
But yeah, like we said, like Cleveland's got to run the ball early and get the lead early,
Not
and
gonna
then
happen.
keep running it. But if they go down 7-0, even 10-3 or something like that, then the longer they're down, the more they're gonna have to put the run game away. And Baker can't.
Yeah.
I don't see Baker doing that second half 4 TD performance again like he did earlier in the year.
Well, especially with Baker last week where he missed 3 wide receivers that were wide open in the end zone and just completely overthrew them. So
Overthrew it, yeah.
We'll see how that one goes. So we like Tennessee minus 5 at home against Cleveland. Hopefully it's not the under game that everybody thinks it might be, but we'll go from there. Second game, I believe it's the Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games. So this is like the 6 o'clock game, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, this is the 8:15 game. Sorry.
Yeah, the Steelers is the early game.
Yeah, let's not talk about that one. Okay, Bills at San Fran, but I believe they're actually in Arizona, if I'm correct.
Yeah, because the county can't support COVID or some nonsense.
So that will be interesting. It's technically not a home game for San Fran, so it's basically a road game for both. So we'll see how that actually plays a factor. Currently, the Niners are favored by 1 point. To my knowledge, they haven't gotten anybody back of big news, but we can
only the guys they got back last week.
Last week with Moser and all that.
Still got Nick Mullins.
So, to me, this is a weird line. We like Bills plus one, and I don't really see why the line is like that. But then again, we said that about Miami the weeks before. So
And Arizona, that's okay.
Yeah, Matt, start us off with this one. Why do we like the Bills?
Like you're just saying, Nick Mullins, he is garbage, and they rely on the run quite a bit as well. They do have Moser back. That didn't really – well, they did kind of perform pretty good last week against the Rams, surprisingly, but I just don't think they're going to be able to handle Buffalo in their offense, which has looked a lot better recently. Stephon Diggs looking good. Allen is looking a lot better. Singletary's looking good. Zach Moss looking good. So I think if they go in this game, if you compare offenses, it's just too one-sided. So I can't really see San Fran being able to battle with the Bills here.
So in saying the rushing game was better, they only had 115 yards. So they didn't run all over them by any means, but they definitely ran the ball better than they have been.
Yeah.
TJ, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, to keep going on what Matt was saying, Buffalo's looked good recently. They're in their last 3. They averaged 34 a game. That's a lot of points. San Fran just really can't compete offensively. They lost Kittle. Obviously, that's huge for them. He's the center of their offense by far. Nick Mullins throwing the ball doesn't help either. It's just too hard to compete with the Buffalo offense that's been on a tear recently. I don't see San Fran putting up the points to keep up with them. They might score some points because Buffalo's D can be spotty at times, but definitely not enough to keep up with 34 a game.
No, 100%. And if it didn't come down to Anthony Lynn's bad play calling at the end of the last game, I think the over would have hit in that one too. So
Don't get me started on that. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. How does he have a job? Oh my God.
that is a good question. Justin, any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't think Vegas is taking into the fact that the Niners guys all had to uproot. They're now going to Arizona for 3 weeks consecutively, or 2.5, 3 weeks, right? They're away from their families. Buffalo always known they're going on the road. There's just another road game to them. They got to get, Niners have to all get acclimated. Everything's changing for them, right? The Rams have had nightmares with the Niners lately, right? So I think that was a trap game if you took the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's going to translate into a ton of success reverse against the Bills. Like Josh Allen can take the top off that Niners defense.
Yeah.
If he really needs, he's got Diggs. He can go, if John Brown's back, he can go over the top with John Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That Gabriel Davis kid had a really good game last week.
Cole
Right.
Beasley is
I would say
good.
Beasley's like
Beasley
sneakily getting
did
like
good,
100
right?
yards. Yeah.
Davis was going up and over the top of a lot of the big DBs for the Chargers. I was watching that game.
Mhm.
So I think +1, even +1. It was a pick 'em earlier. We were going to take a money line. But like I said, like you guys said, I don't see Nick Mullins outplaying Josh Allen.
No.
And they don't have any of their pass rushers to really force them. So if Josh Allen gets that 4 or 5 seconds he's been getting sometimes in the pocket, that was the MVP candidate that was early in the year. So I don't, I think this is a bit of a wonky line, like we said, but
Yeah,
I would ride the Bills before I'd ride the Niners on a
for sure.
low home game.
Absolutely.
Well, especially being just a pick 'em too. It's quite difficult to ride with a team that doesn't have their starting quarterback or their star on offense being Kittle. So, looking at the stats, the Niners defense is actually a lot higher ranked than I thought it was, to be honest. Fourth in passing,
Way more.
But to be fair, if you give them the stats for the whole year, they did start off a lot better than they have been.
Yeah, fourth in passing, 10th in rushing, 5th in total yards. So definitely a lot better than I thought originally. To me, it seemed like this one screamed Buffalo blowout all over it. But in a pick'em game, I can definitely side with the Bills in this one. So those were our two show picks. Tennessee at home -5.5 against Cleveland, and Buffalo on the road +1 against the 49ers in Arizona on Monday night. Now, let's get into our new segment, Take It to the Bank. Everyone on the show, including Jake as well, has made a pick, and we're going to discuss those further a little bit more. So let's start off with, speaking of Jake, let's go with Jake to start with.
Wow, first start. Yeah. This week, my take it to the bank. I mean, I don't know how you're not taking this to the bank. Detroit +3. Detroit, I don't know if you guys know, just fired their head coach, Matt Patricia, former Patriot coach. So rest in peace to Matt Patricia. I don't know if he's in line to get any more coaching jobs after the performance he put in.
Back D
Detroit.
coordinator for life.
But sounds like the Pats maybe it's a good spot to go back and be the D coordinator. But yeah, I just like. I mean, you got to start with teams that fire their head coaches. They tend to come out and play better football the following game. We've seen it this year already twice mid-season. Atlanta fired their coach. They won the next game, covered the spread. And then Houston did the same, won the next game, covered the spread after firing their head coach. So I'm just hoping to follow that trend with this game. And then they're playing the Bears. I know it's in Buffalo, but it is Detroit. I know they play in a dome, but they should be used to cold weather games. They play against the Bears. They play against Green Bay. So I'm not too worried about weather-wise for Detroit. And right now it's Detroit +3. I don't see how they don't cover that number. At the very least, I like them to win this game. I don't trust that Bears offense. It's been terrible all year. Mitch or Nick Foles. They had a good start, but the last 6 games has been a nightmare for the Bears. So I've got the Lions +3 and maybe sprinkle a little bit of money line. Why not?
Yeah, to be honest, while you're at it, you might as well take Trubisky to throw a pick as well, because that's pretty
Free
much
money.
all we guarantee.
Free money.
So,
money.
I do like that pick. Definitely, Bears looked absolutely terrible against the Packers in that one, and basically only put up some extra points at the end, really, to make it not look as bad. So, definitely ride with that one for sure. Justin, you're next. What's your take it to the bank?
All right. We talked a little bit about Derrick Henry just beating the living shit out of the Indy Colts last week, right? But big thing, they didn't have DeForest Buckner. I'm not 100% sure if he's back this week because I don't know if he had COVID or if he was a close contact, right? But if he's back, that Indy defense, they were showing a stat in the game. They're about 4 points better with him on the field, helping with the run stopping, getting pressure on the quarterback. And Houston just lost their weapon, their go-to guy, Will Fuller, done for the season for PEDs, whether you believe him or not, whatever. It's not the point, right? So he's got no running back, Duke Johnson's shit. He's got no David Johnson. He's got Brandon Cooks. Darren Fells never does anything when I bet on him, so I'm not going to do that. Doesn't have a ton of weapons. And the Colts, this is a perfect bounce back spot for a Colts D that literally got destroyed last week. Like they looked terrible, penalties, couldn't cover anyone, couldn't stop the run, right? So I like the under 51.5 in this game. I don't see Houston scoring a ton of points unless Deshaun does it himself, like an MVP case kind of game is what it would be this week. And I think Indy needs to get right. So unless Indy pops up 35, then I'm in trouble. But I like 51.5 here. It's not a crazy number. And the last time I took Indy under 51.5, they burned me. So they better help me out this week.
Yeah, but I believe that was mostly partly Green Bay's issue as well. That why you didn't get that one. So
yeah, my big thing is no weapons for Watson. Big weapon gone. Get right game for Indy D.
So to me, it sounds like a Brandon Cooks over receptions is in line for that one.
Yeah.
TJ, what's your pick? Take it to the bank.
All right, we've talked about Buffalo a little bit, taking them to win this game because their offense has been so good. So I'm going to ride with that and continue with my take it to the bank being Buffalo, San Fran over 47.5. All right. In the last three, I was talking about this before, Buffalo averages 34 points per game. And San Fran in the last three gave up 27. So Buffalo's looking to keep feasting on that San Fran D that's been a little lax of late. And at the same time, San Fran's averages 24 points on the year. So you can expect them to still put up some points. Buffalo's D spotty at times, and they're not great. So you're definitely not going to get a shutout here or even very low scoring. I expect them to get close to 20 points here. And then Buffalo's going to do the heavy lifting, keeping up that 34 points per game pace and just thrashing them. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I really got to hope on the Niners to put up some points here. But I think Buffalo will do a lot of this lifting and hitting that over 47.5.
Yeah, I think if you're talking 50s, it might be a little bit more of a stretch. But when you're talking 47.5, it's a little bit easier to palate, I guess, when you could take the over on that one.
Absolutely.
Matt, what is your take it to the bank?
Justin kind of already explained the bulk of the stats I was going to use. So I'm kind of riding with Justin in the sense that my ticket to the bank is going to be Colts -3 against the Will Fullerless Houston Texans. I think that loss is just such a big part of their offense, just being able to spread the D out. Got a nice 50-yard bomb to Will Fuller. Now they're going to rely on Brandon Cooks, who has looked good at times, but now he's going to get double covered. They got in, and then you have Darren Fells, like Justin was saying, Duke Johnson shit out of in fantasy. And
right,
I'll give it a stat.
The only other weapon they have are their tight ends, really. And
yeah, and they're shit.
Nothing special.
They're shit. So the road team is 9-2-2 in the last 13 meetings against the spread, and Indy's on the road. So that's quite convenient for me. So I'm going to take Indy -3, take it to the bank.
There you go.
I like it. So, yeah, like this game, to me, you look at Indianapolis, yes, they came off a disappointing loss from the Titans, but they're still a better team. So this -3, I don't know.
Not enough.
It seems like a trap in some aspects, but we'll see how that goes. I do.
And they lost starting corner too. They lost Roby as well.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah, he got doped up too.
Yeah.
Same needle probably.
Hopefully not. We don't want that spreading, but it is what it is. Speaking coming off a disappointing loss, we'll talk about my take it to the bank. The Las Vegas Raiders absolutely got shit pumped by the Atlanta Falcons.
The Raiders.
And to be honest, the Raiders shot themselves in the foot multiple times. We're talking Plexico Burris in the strip club right now.
All right.
And
it's just one of those. It was Plexico Burris, right? Just want to make sure.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
Said it so confidently, I would have never.
Yeah, I know.
Never
You're good.
Just Raiders. I believe it was 2 fumbles, 2 picks. Everything that could have gone wrong for the Raiders went wrong last week for during that game against the Falcons, and they got absolutely blown out. And this week playing the Jets, they are 9-point favorites. I think they should cover 10 points against the Jets. Jets look absolutely awful against the Dolphins. And to be honest, right now, I think the Raiders' offense is better than the Dolphins right now. So I think covering basically 10 points definitely shouldn't be an issue on that one. So that is my take it to the bank. But, knowing my luck with love it, lock it, we'll see how that goes.
Remember when you didn't like Matt's pick of Dolphins minus 6.5 against the Jets?
Yeah, I didn't. And if they actually punched the ball in and scored, it wasn't even close to 6.5.
What do you mean?
The Jets got stopped on the 38 4 times.
That's because they suck.
Good defense.
Moving on.
All right, grow up, Kyle. You were wrong. Quick hits. Let's go.
I was wrong, but didn't make the pick, so it doesn't count. So.
Quick hits.
Quick hits. Justin, you have 3. Go.
Okay, Seattle minus 10. Anyone heard of New York Giants quarterback Colt McCoy? Sucks balls. There you go.
Whoa.
Russ is going to get right this week. Going to torch it.
I hope so.
Second one, Washington plus 8.5. Pittsburgh, they're shaky. I think they're still going to win, but they're an 11-0 team that is not playing like an 11-0 team, and you're hearing that from a Steelers fan. So I think Antonio Gibson is going to run the ball a lot. No Bud Dupree. Washington 8.5, and DK Metcalf touchdown is going to have a great day against James Bradbury.
All right.
Okay.
Seattle's playing the Giants, just so if you're wondering, and Washington's
Seattle's playing the Giants. Who's playing for the Giants? Who's their starting QB?
Colt.
Who?
McCoy.
Colt.
Colt 45 McCoy.
All righty there. Isn't he he probably is 45 or something like that at this point.
At least. Yeah.
Sucks. So that's all that matters.
Jake, you got 3. Go.
Yeah, I've never heard Justin talk so fast. We'll start with that. First one on the docket here. We got the boys. New England -1. We got the Randy Moss on the wall. I said this 2 weeks ago when they were playing the Texans. The season's back on. They end up getting beat by a touchdown to the Texans. Not great. I think they got to beat the Chargers if they plan on keeping the season alive, get them back to 500. That one I'm going to say take with discretion because I'm really not sure. That's more out of my heart than my brain. Next up, I'm riding with Kyle here. I like Las Vegas as well. I've seen the line already jump from 8 to 9. I think this is definitely a get-right spot for Vegas after a embarrassing loss to the Falcons. But that was a divisional game. They come in, they play the Jets, and I think they just destroy them on the weekend. And then my final one, I have a first-half spread. I got Tennessee first-half spread. They are 4th in the league in first-half points scored, and the Browns are second last in points allowed on the road. So I have Tennessee -3 first-half spread.
We got a sharp.
Wow.
Sharp here, yeah, okay.
Someone did their goddamn research, apparently. All right. Okay.
All right, TJ and Matt, open up your binders. Let's go.
No.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Well, I don't even. One of them's holding off because I don't even know it yet, but I'll get there.
I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, if you have to go to the washroom, you can go to the washroom now. Take your break because he.
Okay, you can't talk. You make 9 picks a week. What are you on about?
Sorry, how many picks do I have this week?
Okay, that's this week. The past 2 weeks.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. How many picks do I
We
have this
changed the
week?
program just to help you out.
If I don't have the picks this
Away,
week, you
guaranteed.
can't make a comment. You can make a comment when I have the picks the week, but this one you can't. TJ,
right.
you have 5. Go.
I have 4.
4.5.
Yeah, 5. We'll see if we'll tweet that out later, depending on what it comes out as and all that. But anyways, we'll get into the 4. All right, James Robinson over 76.5 rushing yards. The guy can run the ball. No worries about that. All right, next one's Indy -3 against Houston. All right, Justin and Matt have already talked about this. Indy's going to win that game, and they're going to cover -3. Buffalo money line. Again, we've already talked about that. We don't need to get into it. And then, again, Tennessee -5.5. You guys already know.
You're ride or die with
the show.
Ride or die with the show. I like that.
Ride or die.
Show went 2-0 last week, by the way. Hello.
Hello.
He is a rider. Let's put it that way.
And then the other one, we're going to stay on look for Devontae Parker over receptions. We're looking at 5 or 6 there. Definitely hitting the over.
Probably will end up being 5.5, probably about 1.86 odds, give or take, depending on when it
All
comes
right,
out.
wow.
All right,
Vegas
there,
over
Sharpie.
here.
Okay.
This guy's Vegas.
Is that Vegas on the phone?
Wait for it.
You got Vegas on the phone?
Hey, Matt.
I have them in my back pocket, and that's how it works.
What?
Kyle, Vegas, Vardy.
Put your Patriots hat on quickly, Matt, before you start your picks here.
I got a patch shirt on. Good enough.
There you go.
Fine with the boys.
No.
All right, Matt, you got 5. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So Arizona, LA Rams under 48.5. Under is 8-3 in Arizona's last 11. Under 7-1 in LA's last 8. Hammer. Detroit, Chicago
Stat
under
guy-
44.5. Under is 6-2 in last 8 meetings in Chicago, and under is 13-3 in Chicago's last 16 home games. Hammer. New England money line. Back on the boys. Let's go. Damian Harris, new Pat stud running back. Heard of him? I have, over rushing yards. And then last but not least, Taysom Hill, anytime touchdown, has 4 in his last 2 games. Easy money.
All right, that was solid. That was,
Like, that was big
Hopefully-
energy.
hopefully-
Made it
Yeah.
quick.
That
Sweet.
was fast.
That was pretty
Hopefully
good.
you don't lose your money as
That
fast
guy,
as you
Matt.
said all those.
I was gonna.
I went
I was gonna
4-0
say.
in quick hits last week. So.
I was
So-
4-0 in quick hits. Let's settle down.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
gonna say. So anybody listening, can you put that to the 0.5 speed? You'll actually hear what he says there and understand everything that goes
Quick
on.
hits.
Going on.
Sorry, I can't keep up with that. I'm not going to do subtitles this week, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just going to be ...
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that, boys. Okay, mine. I got 3.5. We'll say. I like Seattle -10. To be honest, as Justin said, I don't. Maybe Colt McCoy actually starts. I don't really know. We'll see what goes on with that. Green Bay. I like the -8.5 against the Eagles. I don't trust Carson Wentz, and honestly, that backdoor against Seattle.
Rod,
Who would you rather have as your quarterback, Colt McCoy or Carson Wentz?
Colt McCoy.
The fact that you have to think about that is a sad problem.
Can I run Wildcat instead?
Can I just ask the pizza delivery guy to co-start? I'm sure that will go better.
So I guess that's so. Real question: Cam Newton, Taysom Hill, or Carson Wentz?
The fact that
God.
not
When you
Carson
say that,
Wentz.
I put that out on Twitter. I put
No,
not
no.
Cam Newton, but I put Taysom Hill or Carson Wentz. Who would you rather have right now?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill by a slight advantage was the winner.
That's
You do-
disgusting.
I'm hopping on with TJ for James Robinson's rushing yards. I think for them to actually have a chance to cover the spread against the Vikings, I think it's going to be a rushing game. I think it's going to be Dalvin Cook versus James Robinson. I believe Vikings right now are -10 or something like that. So look for James Robinson to keep that close to the rushing game. And finally, my 3.5 one. The more the boys talked about Will Fuller being gone, I like Brandon Cook's receptions. I think Deshaun's going to come out chucking that ball. And to be honest, I think it's probably going to be 4.5, 5.5 receptions for Brandon Cooks. And I don't think he's going to have a problem with that.
What's your limit on it? What's your max out? If it gets to like 6 or 7, you're out?
Yeah, 5.5 would be probably my max on that one. I don't see him going off for a 7-8 yard or a 7-8 reception game. If it comes out to that, I might take one of the tight ends at like 1.5 receptions instead. So we'll see what that one goes. Those are my quick hits, though. Stay tuned on Sunday, though. On Sunday morning, usually when the lines get out and come out better for props, we will send out a tweet if we're adding anything as well. Usually Justin adds about 4 or 5 in the morning on Sunday. So
I added 2.
just keep an eye out for that as well. Any other thoughts before we end this, boys?
No, let's hope the new format works this week. We switched it
let's
up.
make some
Let's
money.
hope we're a little more succinct, and let's hope we knock it out of the park this week.
Yeah, just make sure you follow at Bettinghouse Pod as usual on Instagram, Twitter, and then try to catch us on YouTube at Garage Door Sports Network. We didn't have the video last week, but the video will be out this week. Usually Saturday morning is when you can expect that, and hopefully our new system gets us above 500 here.
Oh, there goes my
And-
outro
and-
for
and,
this show.
uh,
All right.
And all of us are pretty active on
Just
social
cuts
media.
out.
So if you
Well,
ever
you
have
asked if
questions
we had
or
any
anything,
thoughts. Those are the things going through my brain, Kyle.
Yeah, I know. The last thoughts, but the whole thing was like I was going to end it saying go follow our
You
socials.
shouldn't ask me about thoughts then. I have a lot of thoughts.
I don't have anything going on in my brain, so we're good.
To be
Yeah, it's pretty
honest,
slow.
Jake saying that's probably better than me saying it. Jake has been great on our socials, keeping up to date, putting up with us degenerates and putting everything on the social media. So, as he said, at Betting House Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and the Garage Door Sports Network on YouTube has all of our videos. I believe we are putting this up this week, right?
Yeah, the videos
Yeah.
went up. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll try and get some subtitles for Matt, but we'll see how that goes.
Said quick hits, man. Come on.
Yeah, sure, true. I guess we asked for it. So,
Yeah.
with saying that, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
My friends are degenerate.